welcome back to round 4, the final round of the SCG Tour Spotlight I am doing on Jeff Hoagland's Abzan Seasons Past deck from the SCG Tour stop in Orlando. We are 1-2 currently, and hoping to salvage a 500 record here. We've lost the die roll, tilt, and are waiting for our opponent to decide whether or not they would like to play first. Willing to bet that they will decide to play first. Lost a couple of sort of blowout rounds actually in rounds 2 and 3 to Bant Company and Blue-Red Dragons. Just couldn't beat Fevered Visions against the Blue-Red deck, and had just not enough late game power against the attrition cards of the Bant Company deck. A lot of Tireless Trackers, Jaces, and Duskwatch Recruiters sort of buried us in card advantage while we were unable to get a Planeswalker down or find any Read the Bones or something like that. So like quickly ran us out of removal spells and then overpowered the creature lands that I did have in order to play into the late game. So hopefully we'll be a bit more successful here in the last round. Not exactly sure where my opponent has gone. Maybe they're getting a snack. Maybe maybe like some carrots, maybe a healthy snack, some celery, peanut butter, maybe some hummus. I don't know. Their name is Filippo? Or is that just Flippo? Probably Filippo. It'd be better if it were Flippo, though. That's like a hippo that's also a gymnast, a Flippo. No? Okay, they are here, and I've seen their opening hand, and my opening hand is just removal spells and card advantage, and this Dark Petition to hopefully set up something great later on, so I'm certainly going to keep. Opponent is mulligan to 6 cards, so that's very lucky for us. Very good anytime you have a removal heavy deck and your opponent mulligans 6 cards. I'm just trying to run them out of resources, and every mulligan makes it easier to do that. They can even go further. Maybe mulligan to 5. Help us out. Really need this win. Very, very important to me. Come on. 1 time. Or maybe 2 times, I guess. Because we do need to win 2 games. Just 2 times mulligan to 5. I don't really want him to mull to 5. I want to play some interesting games for you people watching back home. Don't want to see a bunch of blowout games where no real decisions are made. So, how about you keep 6 and do some fancy stuff. Whatever you do, please do it faster. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. No. One of the things I generally dislike about Magic Online is opponents who sort of use their clock to go do other things. I mean, sometimes you have to like answer the door, answer the phone, or whatever, but it just leaves the other person waiting. And in this case, it leaves all the rest of you waiting too. Okay, we're ready to start. Turn on Oath of Nissa, probably green-white tokens. This is the deck that we defeated, I guess, with an asterisk in round 1. I was going to be victorious and then ran out of time, as I am apt to do. Finds a plains off the Oath of Nissa, so has his mana base pretty well set up. And we'll play our ETB tapped land. Hopefully we get to use this ultimate price on turn 2, because then the Read the Bones will not cause us to discard. Great. Play Sylvan Advocate, and get that thing right off the battlefield. Get him out of here. What else you got? Another one? You think you're so smart. Evolutionary Leap, that's great. Oh wow, it doesn't have a 3rd land. So it kept a 1-lander with the Oath of Nissa on 6. I guess that makes sense. I didn't even check to see how he scryed. But we have found our Seasons Pass. We're definitely set up to play a long game. Can actually now use this Dark Petition to find an Anguished Unmaking to answer Evolutionary Leap. And I almost want to just... Is it weird that I just want to take both lands? You need to make a lot of lands with the hand that we have. I think I'm just going to keep them both. We're not under any pressure, so we might as well just make our land drops and make sure we get to our end game as quickly as possible. Well, opponent does hit 3rd land, and it's a forest, so they can play Advocate with Leap Up. But I'm not too concerned about a Sylvan Advocate. I am just going to transgress our opponent's mind. And a big brick. We got a Declaration in Stone, a Dromoka's Command, and a Den Protector. That's fine. The other cards don't really do much, and they can't really tap out for the Den Protector. We have Languish to really punish them if they do. We'll take a hit or two here. Oh wow, found the Anguished Unmaking. So, sure, yeah, why don't we just play that one? We can wait. We'll just end step Anguished Unmaking this leap, take another 2-point attack, we'll be at 11, perfectly healthy life total. Should be able to take over this game pretty quickly from there. Yeah. Unsurprisingly, our opponent found a 5th land. So we'll cast this. I'm just going to be able to get back an Advocate, and that is just not a big deal. So, interestingly, we can Dark Petition here and play the Languish and just sort of get the Dark Petition out for free. Our opponent will sort of assume that we found Languish, but what do we actually want to find? I think we just want to find a Sorin. So I guess, actually, Sorin gets pretty blown out by... he has Declaration and Dromoka's Command. So if he draws a 6th land on the next turn, he can play Advocate, hold up Command, and we're forced to use all 6 counters on the Sorin to deal with the Advocate. So we might just want to get Ob Nixilis because of that. But I do want to get some way to gain card advantage and start pulling away in this game. Black, black. I just want to get a Planeswalker. I guess we have Seasons Pass too, but... Oh, we could just get Nissa. And then Nissa plus Ruinous Path. That actually sounds really good to me, because it gets another land too. We do have another forest, so there's 2 forests in the deck. That's a good thing to check. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do that. So let's do that. We have a bunch of black mana. We'll cast that. We'll pay that. Our opponent will flip down Protector. Worst case scenario, they draw like a Gideon here. And yeah, it's so we do want to Ruinous Path first to make sure they can't command our Nissa. So we will do that. Now I'll play Nissa, and then I'm just going to play the Hissing Quagmire for my hand instead of the Forest I find. This has nothing to do with the mana. So Forest, and play Quagmire, and we'll +1. Found a Shambling Vent, so now we have tons of mana to go with the Seasons Past. This Nissa, we'll probably just end this game by ultimating Nissa. That Evolutionary Leap doesn't do anything. Other card in our opponent's hand is probably just a land they're hiding. Any good card, it could be, I guess could just be another removal spell that they've drawn that doesn't really do anything. And there's a Sorin, so we'll get that guy down. Yeah, this game is just academic from here. Nice quick win. Opponent mulled to 6, stymied on their early development. Didn't really have any of the Planeswalkers that punished us before in this matchup. So, for last time I played this matchup, I was bringing in these 5, and I was cutting Languishes, and one of these 2-mana removal spells, and it's going to be a Grasp of Darkness, because that does not kill 4/5 Sylvan Advocates. And I don't really see a reason to change. I don't think we need Lamholt Pacifist, especially the way the green-white tokens deck sideboard now. They are much less aggressive after in the post-board games. Maybe we don't need so many discard spells, but Transgress can be good. And I don't really like any of these cards. We could have some Den Protectors in our deck or something like that, but we already have a bunch of slow cards. I'd rather just have some more discard, and if it's dead, so be it. So we will submit. What do we got this time? It'd be kind of interesting if we go 2-2, beating 2 green-white token decks, the sort of default best deck in the format, and losing to the other 2. Wouldn't be too surprised at that. Jeff is a player, certainly someone that looks to attack metagames, and green-white being the dominant deck. I'm sure he built this with that matchup in mind, and could certainly get caught off guard in some of the less common matchups. The Bant Company is also quite common. This hand is just going to be too clunky, I think. We have 2 Sorens, which is awkward, and no white mana. We don't really have any interaction in the early turns, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand is significantly better. Just have some discard to set up this Kalitas, hopefully draw some removal, and take over the game with it. So I'll keep, and we're definitely going to keep that on top. That'll help deal with a Gideon, one of the scarier cards in this matchup. So now I think I'll just play the Evolving Wilds, and we'll get a Forest with that. Next turn we'll Transgress, and then we'll go from there. Forest. Yeah, a little awkward. Let's Transgress. Quarantine Field, Surrock 3 Plains. So could only take the Surrock because Quarantine Field has CMC 3, but good news is that Quarantine Field, like, we can just duress it and then play Kalitas. So next turn we'll probably grasp this Sylvan Advocate, and unless our opponent draws something, we're under no pressure. So that's great news for us. Just need to draw some lands. And we haven't even have an answer to a Gideon or Nissa off the top, which are the scariest cards. So that is a little awkward because we want to grasp, but we're not going to play Kalitas on 4 anyway because of Quarantine Field. So I am just going to pass the turn. I will grasp. Yep. So we can just duress now. Take that Quarantine Field. Nissa, that's an interesting one. Probably just waiting until they can. Yeah, that is just waiting until they can flip it immediately, which is actually going to get a sort of around a Ruinous Path. They'll at least get 1 card out of it, or an Ashaya token. But opponent has drawn a few more lands. And even though we have these creature lands. Good draw. Also a good draw. And a good draw on our part. So start by sacking this Clue, and I think we're just going to ruin his path. Now we sort of had a game here. Tried to set up that Kalitas, and the opponent had another removal spell in the chamber. If they draw some gas here, we could be in some trouble. They get their Forest, flip the Nissa. Drew an Oath of Nissa. Certainly going to cast that. And Sylvan Advocate. Okay, Advocate, not so bad. We are under a bit of pressure now. Okay, less pressure. So we can simply price and Ruinous Path and then have Read the Bones later. Could also just take 4 in order to Read the Bones now, but I don't think that's worthwhile. I'd rather keep my life total high, so we'll just cast our spells. I'm gonna ultimate price on my main phase, so I don't get Avacyned. And now we are a little bit behind, actually. Let's see what they find off this Oath. Hopefully a land? No? Den Protector, that is very good. Ugh. Oh wow, decided to play Nissa there. That's kind of interesting. Would have thought they would want to use more of their mana and Den Protector back something, and they could maybe Nissa plus Gideon the next turn. But let's see what we can find with these Read the Bones. These are not going to do anything. The Virulent Plague will. I wonder if I want to just Read the Bones again. I take 2 extra damage, but it's possible my opponent Den Protector's back something that is irrelevant. They could also Den Protector, if they know about the Plague, they can Den Protector back Quarantine Field. So I would like to force them to Den Protector before I Plague. Shouldn't have played the land, but I was just doing it quickly in case I end up drawing an ETB tap land here. Certainly don't want either of these. And yeah, I did draw an ETB tap land to get punished there, but that shouldn't matter. The real issue is drew 2 lands off of that, so... Yeah, they play their Morph. Is it gonna -2 his Nissa? I guess it could now. Just got back an Advocate. That's a little surprising. Oh yeah, did -2. Didn't really pay attention to my life total that well. And now I think I'm just dead on board. That's a little embarrassing. I did find three bricks off of these 5 cards when I expected to find something. Also didn't really expect my opponent to turn that aggressively with his Nissa. Ended up taking 4 damage instead of the 2. So I'm gonna play the Virulent Plague and just sort of hope my opponent doesn't try to kill me. Undo. We need to leave our white source up just to... Yeah, and now that actually the knight survives, which is kind of crazy. And if we had plagued first, our opponent could just Den Protector back Quarantine Field, and I guess we would have been in better shape there. They wouldn't have the Advocate. Oh god. Yep. Yeah, I am dead. So maybe, like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose that game either way, because my opponent certainly drew more gas there at the end. My Read the Bones were not particularly kind. It's another game where I got caught without any of my big payoff cards. They had the Declaration for Michaelides. I never found Petition or a big Planeswalker or Lindvala. Don't think there's much I can do there. I don't really want to bring in more of them. I've got plenty. Just need to find them. Yeah, I think I like this as is, so... 1 game for some amount of marbles. I will play first. And this is a solid hand. We'll get to Duress on 2, Read the Bones on 3, Kalidas on 4. I will certainly keep. And then we'll have a Ruinous Path in the chamber for a Planeswalker. Opponent mulligans to 6. And I will pass. Let's see what's up. And Quarantine Field, Declaration, Hangerback, and Surrock. So it has two answers for my Kalitas. If I force him to Quarantine Field the Kalitas, it certainly costs more mana, and I can find a Anguished Unmaking to get it back later in the game. But the Declaration does just give me a card, which is not... That is certainly something. I will say I can possibly transgress this Quarantine Field later. I think I'm just going to take the Declaration, and then I'll play in Evolving Wilds and pass. Interesting whether I want to get a Swamp or a Forest off of this. So I have either a Painless Source of green or a second Painless Source of black. I do have 2 double black cards already in hand. Yeah. I have so many black sources, I think I just want to find a forest. Okay, that is a solid draw. I will, I guess, play this one, and I'm just going to read the bones. That is an undo. Let's read some bones. Virulent Plague, actually I don't think is particularly good right now. The only thing it stops is Hangerback Walker, which Kalitas can also stop if I set it up well enough. I'm just going to put it on the bottom, but I do want more lands. And yeah, could easily get punished for keeping that land, but I just want to make my first 6 land drops, so... Yeah. And I'm just going to play my Kalitas, sort of force my opponent to do something about it. We'll probably Quarantine Field it and then attack me for 2, and then I can spend my turn just either playing the card I draw or attacking with a Shambling Vent. That's fine. This is actually sort of curving awkwardly. So I can... My opponent is likely to play Surrock, activate their Hangerback Walker with a 5th land, and then they have 8 power and attack me for 5. At which point my Sorin does not is not going to live. So I'll be forced to Ruinous Path. But I think that's fine. As for now, I'm just going to activate a Shambling Vent. Yes. Yeah, had I taken the Virulent Plague, I couldn't have Plague plus Path there, which would have been nice. And because my opponent just plays Surrock and I Sorin it, I would have been a mana short of that play anyway. Okay. Reveal Plains. I'm still at a reasonably healthy life total. So nothing too much to worry about yet. Okay, starting to worry a bit more. The Quagmire and Ruinous Path, this guy. Need to draw some spells. Ugh, please don't find Gideon. Sylvan Advocate, okay, that's not too bad. It is going to be a 4/5. Ugh. What am I supposed to do? So I can I can just use my Sorin to kill Advocate and gain a bunch of life. My opponent's certainly going to attack with Hangerback. That's probably my best play, because I have so many good draws. I just want to extend the game. So, I can also just -6 to play around a Dromoka's command. That actually ends up, because the Hangerback can then attack me, that ends up gaining 2 fewer life. And we saw my opponent's hand a while ago. If they had a bigger thing than Advocate, they probably would have cast it. I'm guessing it's just a land, but I think the 2 life is worth playing around a Dromoka's command. Because if he, yeah, we have these vents that can race back against the Hangerback, depending upon what our opponent has. I guess one of them dies to a command anyway, but so we can just activate 2 vents. Our opponent likely just has an Avacyn. It's gonna eat one, but I don't really see what else we're doing. So I guess I could activate with 1 and attack and threaten a removal spell. But I'm pretty sure it's Avacyn. He's gonna play it into the removal spell. I don't think that bluff is actually gonna work, so just not a spot where it's worth it for him to pay us off. Well, don't have Avacyn, please. Okay, he didn't have Avacyn, so that's very good for us. Probably has some sorcery speed removal spells, and yeah, it's now forced to hold back. We can now just sort of blow up the Hangerback, I guess. Yeah, I'm not going to... I'm just gonna wait and get respond to him activating it. Damn. Get your 3 1/1s. We'll be able to trade for one of our creature lands, but we have 4 of them. And now our opponent is flooding a bit, so... yeah, so... I think... I mean, at this point, Avacyn is going to destroy us, so no point in playing around that. And it's probably just best to trade for a Quagmire than a Vent. Actually, Quagmire is a better, again, once he gets those creatures in play. So I think I'll just trade for a Vent. We're at a reasonably high life total, so don't have to worry too much about that. I guess I will like bluff a removal spell, because there's basically no cost to me doing that. Attack with everybody. Okay, they don't have Avacyn. Trade away for 2 of them. Well, good that we got 2 Thopters off, so as he's probably going to attack and then sack after combat, especially if you can find an Avacyn. Yeah, not surprised. Finds a Hangerback Walker, that's a good one too. We'll play that one for 2. Yeah, I'll still probably play for 2. Okay. So now... Yeah, I can't really just attack with Vent because he gets the Fray block sack. if I just pass, he doesn't even have to sacrifice yet. So I do want to apply some pressure. The question is if I'm fine trading a Quagmire for the front half of this Hangerback Walker. Still gets to like start using Leap. This is the thing about Leap. It's hard, especially with a card like Hangerback Walker. It's really hard to just contain it, but with 1-for-1 removal spells, even if your removal spells land, because any single creature still keeps the chain going. You have to get them down to absolutely nothing, and with Hangerback Walker, that's essentially impossible. I almost just want to pass and hope to find a Sylvan Advocate so I can start actually attacking, save this for something like an Avacyn, because this game's certainly going to go on for much longer now. So I think I'll just hold back. Yeah, I don't have the resources to close this game out with my opponent at 12, so I just have to hope to draw something. Yeah, like I suspected, opponent just doesn't sack the Walker. Gideon, yeah. Not surprised. Taps all his planes, leave up green for Leap, and you can sack this one. Ugh, God, I needed to draw another big spell. Just can't find them. 2, 4, 6, 9, 10. I mean, we can't really do anything. So, I guess maybe we should have blown this grass, but sure. Yeah. Oh wow, just sacking the knight, finds a Sylvan Advocate. Yeah, maybe I can find a Dark Petition for Virulent Plague to handle this Hangerback and to sort of handle Gideon, but he can just start pressuring me, yeah. Just make it a 5/5. Now he's got me on 2 angles. I can't keep up with it. Second Leap makes a potential Anguished Unmaking not good. Yeah, I can't really do anything. That might just do it. I mean, eventually he's just going to make this flying army at the end of my turn that can close out the game. As early as next turn, really, because this attack is going to bring me to 10, and then he can make it a 5/5, and then 5/1/1s and the Gideon to present lethal. I'm certainly going to animate a Quagmire and attempt to trade with Sylvan Advocate. Can't really use these vents to gain life because of Evolutionary Leap, and now it's a Den Protector. Not exactly sure what I can draw here. Well, I don't have any forests left in my deck, but I do have a land left in my hands, so I do get to flip this one. So we'll play Nissa. A little too late. Just don't use it. Play this Caves. And now I'm at 10. What am I even trying to find here? If I plus and hit like a Languish, it doesn't even do anything. My opponent just puts a counter on his Hangerback. I have 4, 6, 9 mana, so Really can only conceivably activate one creature land to do something. And I guess we'll plus. I think that's better than making a Shia. Ultimate price is a little embarrassing, but yeah, why not? Let's see what my opponent does. My guess is this is the turn he decides to pop the hanger back. Yeah. Yep. Makes a bunch of 1/1s. Finds his own Nissa of Astwood Seer. That is a good one. Just getting completely buried. One Evo Leap and one Hangerback Walker, and it's also Gideon Den Protector, but what are you going to do? Played a lot of these games with an eye towards the late game, thinking that I would be able to take over, and that just hasn't been the case. That's fine. Is he just trying to kill me here? I do have Grasp to eat a token. This ultimate price can eat a Den Protector, and I can stay alive, and then maybe find a Languish. They're all coming at me. Yep. Let's price that guy. Can't beat Navison, of course. Let's grasp that one. Surprised they let the price on the Den Protector resolve. This has enough mana anyway, but also, if it does have the Avacyn and let this resolve, thinking he could get another removal spell here without realizing that Avacyn does not save it from Grasp. That is also kind of cute. But we will live to see another turn. I don't know if a Season's Pass is good enough here. We're on 3, 5, 8, 12 lands. So we could Season's Pass plus Sorin. But I doubt Sorin is good enough. We're going to go to 2, our opponent has 8, so even -6ing on Gideon, and assuming our opponent does absolutely nothing else, that is not good enough. Yes, if our opponent spends a lot of time trying to grind value with this Evo Leap, a Sylvan Advocate with these Shambling Events could certainly get us back into it. I think Sylvan Advocate might just be the best draw in our deck. And we don't even have that much to get back with a Season's Pass. To get back a Ruinous Path, a Grasp, a Duress, a Sorin, and an Evolving Wilds. Oh, that's pretty good. But let's see what you got. Not sure what our opponent is up to here. Just they have perfect information because we have no cards in hand. I guess as perfect as it can be. He does not know the top card of our deck, or the one beneath that we will find with this Nissa. Come on, guy. What do you got? I'm so close to dying. Opponent's probably just being careful, making sure they don't throw this game away. They're ahead on time by a significant amount too, so no, they don't really have any concerns on that end. and indeed sacking the Thopter to Evolutionary Leap. Finds another hanger back. Wow, we are just so far behind on cards. It's really impressive. Yeah, now gonna let me take 8. Probably just play their Nissa, start drawing even more cards. Maybe play a hanger back to insulate from Languish. Might just make a Shia here. A Shia would be a 5/5, would survive a Languish. Yep. Okay. Yeah, just trying to close the game. Don't blame him. And Hammer for 2. Good number. Still leaves a couple mana up for Leap. It's a lethal creature by itself and gives 2 lethal creatures when it dies. So a very fine number for that card. That is not going to be good enough. And Advocate, if we had drawn Advocate with a removal spell for Ashaya, that might have been good enough. As is, we're dead in the air, so we have to attack with 2 Shambling Vents. They're both 4/5s. He gets to eat 1. Oh, he has Evolutionary Leap, so the vents aren't even particularly good. So yeah, he just gets to eat 1 and block, sack, hanger back to the other one. I gain 4, go to 6. He has 5 Thopters. I mean, that's all I can do. So I guess if he does that, then my potential Languish is very good. So, oh, but I can't even cast it. Oh, well, stranger things have happened. Got nothing to lose. And I'll play an Advocate. I guess we'll attack. Yeah, let's attack Gideon. And attack Gideon. Yeah, he's just making the obvious block. Actually, that doesn't even have to sack the Hangerback Walker, I guess. Looks like he will. And yeah, finds a Sirach. That's fine. I'm just dead. Yeah, just felt like I was ahead in both games 2 and 3, and then our opponent hit a couple good draws, got right back in the game. But that's the power of the green-white deck. I just really wasn't able to apply suitable pressure, and didn't really find my late game spells in time. So a disappointing 1-3 finish, although it even looks worse than that. But we'll review in the conclusion, so you can come back in just a moment for that.